Hello students, welcome to today's session. In this video I am going to start a new lesson, iterative constructs. So in the previous video I explained conditional constructs. So using conditional constructs we could choose which set of statement should be executed based upon some condition. So we have got many branches and each branch represents a different set of code which should be executed based on some condition. So for choosing these paths we used conditional constructs like if else, switch, but in case of iterative constructs, so iterative constructs are used for looping. Iterative constructs are used for repeating a set of statements, repeating the execution of a set of statements. And to do that in Java we have got for loop, while loop, do while loop, and then we have two different kinds of jump statements. One is break and the other one is continue. So we have got three iterative constructs for while and do while, and we have got two jump statements, break and continue. So let's start with for loop. We'll see the syntax of each of the loops and try to understand their working. So this is the syntax for loop. First you have to write the for keyword and then open parenthesis. Inside the parenthesis you will have three different components, separated by two semicolons. The first part represents the initialization. Second part represents the condition, and the third part represents the update of the control variable. So what is control variable? Control variable is a variable which keeps track of the number of execution of the loop. So let's see an example. So for example, I have declared a variable here int I. So this I will be used as the control variable. So let's initialize it with 1, and the condition, let's say it will be I less than equal to 10, and then I've got I plus plus. That means in each iteration the value of I will be updated, will be increased by 1. So this is the initialization, this is the condition, and this is the update statement. Now this part is known as the function body. So let's write a single print line statement here, which will just print the value, which will just print Java, and let's see what it does. So let's compile it, and you can see that I've written system.out.println Java only once, but it is being printed 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 times So this particular statement is executing 10 times. So, that is possible because of the loop that is being used here. So, how does it work? First of all, the control comes to the initialization part. Okay? When the control enters the for statement for the first time, initialization will happen first of all. Okay? When initialization is done, that means when I is assigned with the value of 1, then the second step will be to check the condition. Okay? So, the condition will be 1 less than equal to 10, which is of course true. So, since it is true, the control will come inside the body, and whatever statements are there inside the body, okay, whatever number of statements are there inside the function body, all the statements will be executed. But in this example, I have just written a single statement. So, that single statement will execute. Okay. And when all the statements are executed inside the function body, when all the statements are executed, the control will come to the update part. Notice the control did not come to the update part initially. Okay. Initially, initialization happened, condition was checked. If it was true, then control came inside. Now, once all the statements are executed, now the control will come to the update part for the first time. Okay. And the initialization part will not be executed anymore. Okay. So, that happens only during the start of the loop once. Okay. And the update will happen consequently as many times the condition allows. Okay. So, now I will become 2, again the condition will be checked, 2 is less than equal to 10, condition is true, control comes inside, again Java is printed. So, again the control will go to the update part, I will become 3, condition will become 3 less than equal to 10, control will come inside because the condition is true and it will print Java. Okay. So, this will keep on repeating. Okay. Let us say the value of I is 9. Okay. The value of I is 9, 9 less than equal to 10, this is the condition, control comes inside, and so this will print Java for the 9th time. Okay. Now, I will become 10, control comes here, 10 less than equal to 10, control comes inside because the condition is still true, and Java will be printed for the 10th time. Okay. Now, again the control will come to the update part, I will become 11. Okay. And the condition here will become 11 is less than equal to 10, which is false. So, once the condition becomes false, the control is thrown out of the loop. Okay. The control comes out of the loop. So, the value of I, it went up till 11, but the control entered the loop only 10 times. Okay. So, we will say that the loop executed 10 times, and in the ICSE board exam, you will be asked, you will be given a certain code snippet. Okay, and you have to find out the number of times the given loop executes. Okay. So, in this example, the loop will execute 10 times, although the value of I goes up till 11. So, again I am repeating, the number of times the control enters the loop body, that decides the number of times of execution of the loop. Okay. Now, let us see a few variations of this for loop. Okay. Now, instead of printing, I will print I. Okay. So, this time the value of I will be printed, and you know that the value of I will keep on changing in every iteration of the loop. First time I will be 1, condition will be 1 less than equal to 10, and control comes inside, I value is 1. So, 1 gets printed. update will happen, I will become 2. Now 2 less than equal to 10, condition will be checked, control comes inside, and this time the value of I is 2. So 2 is printed. So this will print all the values from 1 till 10, as you can see in the output. Okay. Now let us say I instead of increasing the value by 1, I increase the value by 2. Okay. So what will happen this time? This time the variable will be initialized with 1, condition will be checked, 1 less than equal to 10, condition is true, control comes inside, and 1 is printed. Then control comes here to the update part, I becomes 3. Now the condition is 3 less than equal to 10, control comes inside, 3 is printed, control comes here. Now I will become 5, the condition becomes 5 less than equal to 10, control comes inside, so 5 is printed. Now again the control will come to the update part and I will become 7. So the condition here will become 7 is less than equal to 10, control comes inside again. So this time I value is 7, so 7 is printed. So now the value of I will be updated to 9 and the condition will become 9 less than equal to 10, control comes inside and 9 is printed. Okay. So far we have got 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. Control comes to the update part again and I will become 11 and the condition becomes 11 less than equal to 10, which is false. So the control will come out of the loop. It will come out of the loop, okay, and the output will be 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So let us have a look at the output. As you can see, the output is 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. So students, I have just added a statement here which prints finally the control came here. Okay. So the control will come here to this statement only when the loop has exited. Okay. So let us just see the output for this. You can see that after the loop has completed its work, that is it has printed from 1 till 9, then only the control reaches to the statement which is present on line number 12. Okay. So when the control exits the loop, the remaining coding, the remaining code below the loop gets executed. Now let us see what else we can do with this for loop. So this time I have removed the initialization condition and the update statement, and I will print let us say I will print I, but this time the I variable I will declare it outside. Okay. I will declare it outside and I will update the I variable inside the loop. Okay. So this will not cause any error. Okay. Although I have left these parts blank here, this will not cause any error. It will simply, the condition here will remain true by default. Okay. So it will become an infinite loop, but I am updating the value of I here and I am initializing the variable I before the loop starts. Okay. So that is also possible. So let us see the output for this. And you can see this is the output. Okay. It is an infinite loop. So the loop is continuously executing. Okay. And the value of I is being increased and printed every time the loop executes. So, this is an infinite loop, it will not stop executing until we stop it forcefully. Okay. So, to do that we have to press Ctrl Shift R in BlueJ, and you see now the loop has stopped. So, this is an infinite loop. So, if I want, I can put a condition here, I less than equal to 20. Okay. This time the condition is I less than equal to 20, and the initialization statement and the update statement is still blank. Okay. But the initialization is happening outside the loop, and the update is happening inside the body of the loop. Okay. So, let us see the output this time. So, as you can see, the loop is executing 20 times this time. Okay. And one more thing, if I make this an infinite loop, okay, and I write this statement here, okay, this statement here, line number 15, you can see that it has gone red, it is showing me an error, unreachable statement, okay. And of course, this is unreachable. Why? Because this loop here will keep on executing, the loop, the control never exits this loop. So, how will this statement execute? The control can never reach here, because the loop which is present above this line is an infinite loop, okay. And this these two statements, that is line number 11 and line number 12, will keep on executing, and the control can never reach this line. So, we should take care of infinite loops, okay. So, let us solve some simple problems. Okay. So, let us say I want to print all the odd numbers starting from 51 up till 100, okay. Starting from 51 up till 100. So, I will initialize a variable here, int I is equal to 1, and I will remove this statement from here. So, I is 1. Then I will write the condition I is less than equal to 100. Okay. I want to print all the odd numbers between 1 and 100. So, in the update part I will write I plus equals 2, and then inside the function body I will simply print the value of I. So, first time I will be 1, condition will be checked, 1 is less than equal to 100, control comes inside and it will print 1. Next time I will become 3, condition will become 3 less than equal to 100, control comes inside and 3 will be printed, and so on. So, let us see the output for this. So, as you can see, all the odd numbers starting from 1 up till 100, all the odd numbers are getting printed. The last number to be printed here is 99. Similarly, if I want to print all the even numbers, so I will simply initialize I with 2, okay, and rest everything will remain same. So, you can see this time 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 up till 100. So, all the even numbers between 1 and 100 are getting printed. So, students, we can also do multiple initialization and multiple update in the for loop like this. Let us say I declare a variable int I is equal to 1, okay, and j is equal to 1, or let us say j is equal to 2, and the condition we can say that I is less than equal to 10, okay, and the update part will consist of I plus equals 2 and j plus equals 2. So, I is also increasing by 2 and j is also increasing by 2. So, you might guess that I will have all the odd numbers and j will have all the even numbers. And now what I am going to do is I will print the value of I and j, okay, I, then a space, and then j. So, let us see the output for this. So, as you can see, all the even and odd numbers between 1 and 10 is getting printed here. So, this is known as multiple initialization, okay, multiple initialization and multiple update. So, you can have any number of update statements and any number of initialization statements separated by a comma, okay. But remember that you will always have only 2 semicolons in any case. Now, since we are meant to write a Boolean expression here, okay, so we can use logical operators also to combine several conditions, okay. So, let us say if I write here I is less than equal to 10 and j is less than equal to 5, okay. So, what will be the output for this? So, let us have a look. You can see the loop is executing only 10 times, okay. I is being printed as 1 and 3 and j is printing as 2 and 4. So, j will not go above 5. That is why the loop has executed only 2 times and this is the output 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, you can use logical operators here, okay, and you can also use Boolean variable, okay. So, Boolean b is equal to true. So, I can write b here, okay. The condition is true. The condition will always remain true if I write it like this. So, this will be an infinite loop, okay. But let us say I want to print the 10 the even and odd numbers between 1 and 10, okay. So, what I will do is I will write a condition here if I is equal to 10, okay. That means if j is equal to 10, because j is printing all the even numbers. So, I will write if j is equal to 10, then the value of b should become false, okay. So, what will happen this time? All the 10 numbers will be printed, as you can see here, means all the even and odd numbers between 1 and 10 will be printed. And if I remove these 2 lines, then this will become an infinite loop. So, as you can see, it is printing even and odd numbers infinitely. So, let us bring those statements back. So, if j is equal to 10, b should become false, okay. So, when b becomes false and control comes here to the condition part, the value of b will be false, and that is how the loop will terminate. So, this was all about for loop. Now, let us see the syntax of while loop, okay. So, in case of while loop, you have to write the while keyword and then a set of parentheses. Inside the parentheses, you will have the condition, and within the curly brackets you will have the function body, the loop body, okay. So, in this case the initialization of the control variable will be done before the loop, okay. So, let us say int I is equal to 1, you can see I have initialized I here, and the condition will be given here inside the parenthesis I is less than equal to 10, okay. And then inside the loop body I am printing the value of I, and the update of the control variable will happen inside the loop body, okay. So, here you can see I have written I plus plus. So, update of the control variable is happening inside the loop. So, this is known as while loop, okay. So, it will also print all the numbers from 1 till 10. So, the loop is executing 10 times, and in this loop you cannot leave the condition part blank as you did in for loop. Okay, that will result in an error. As let me show you. So let's say I remove this and leave it blank. So if I compile, it's giving me an error, illegal start of expression. Okay, so this cannot be left blank. And this is also known as entry controlled loop. The for loop and the while loop, they are entry controlled. That means the condition is first checked before the control enters the loop body, both in case of for loop and while loop. Okay. So this is the syntax of while loop. Now let's talk about do while loop. So in case of do while loop, okay, this is the syntax. You have to write the do keyword and then open a set of curly brackets and then the while keyword and followed by a set of parentheses and then a semicolon. Okay. So again, the initialization in this case will also be done before the loop body, before the loop. Okay, and the condition will be written here inside the parenthesis, I less than equal to 10. Okay. So this is the syntax, and the update in this case, in case of do while, will also happen inside the body. So I'll write here I plus plus. So you can see that here is the initialization, here is the condition, and here is the update statement inside the body. So let's print the value of I. And look at the output. So this should also print 1 till 10. Okay, so as you can see, 1 till 10, the numbers are being printed. Now there is one specialty about this loop. It is exit controlled. That means the loop will execute at least one time. Okay, the control directly enters the loop without checking any condition for the first time. And when the execution of the body has been done once, then the condition is checked. That is why this loop is also known as exit controlled loop. Okay. So let's say I'll change the condition here, I is less than equal to 0. Okay, I is less than equal to 0. Now if you see, the value of I is 1 and the condition here is false. Okay. So even though the condition is false, the loop will execute once and it will print the value of I. So as you can see, 1 is getting printed. The loop has executed only once. So this is do while loop, and in this case also you cannot leave the condition part blank here. Okay, you must have a condition here. So this is do while. So this is it, students, for this video. In the next video I will discuss the jump statements, break and continue. Okay, so I will stop here. Thank you.